Dear Borodis Chelsea fans, how are you doing today? I hope you're enjoying the World Cup. There was a game yesterday between France and Morocco. Kylian Mbappe took over the game. That guy is turning out to be a talent, yeah? Generational talent. Whew, yeah. This is Derek here from Blue Nation TV. Yesterday was a massive day for Chelsea, and you know why. Xabi Alonso is officially at Chelsea. He began his first day of training yesterday, gave a beautiful interview, had a lot to say about Chelsea Football Club, the project. He had some beautiful quotes. His full interview was posted on CFC Plus, and then Chelsea Football Club made it free later for reasons unknown. But I think it could be because somebody just put up the whole interview for free on I saw it on Facebook somewhere, or it was also on YouTube. It was also on X. So Chelsea made it free. Good on them. Yeah. I'm not paying for anything right now, even though it's quite less money, but I don't want to pay. In this video, we are going to break down everything why Chelsea hired the ex-Real Madrid manager, Xabi Alonso, what he would do next, how he would build a mentality for the team. I will just go on to see some notes of what is the tactical style of play, what he adopted at Bayer Leverkusen, at Real Madrid, why he could go on to become one of the most successful managers of this generation. Xabi Alonso has a lot of experience under different coaches, but at the end, in his interview, he says, you can be trained under a lot of managers, but if you are actually becoming a coach, you need to have your own coaching style. And that is what I was hooked onto. He is not going to build on to something what he's learned from someone and just implement it at Chelsea, but he is going to give us an own identity of how we are going to play, of how we are going to build a team, how we are going to build the mentality. And that's what I like about his interview. Why Chelsea hired Xabi Alonso? So why Alonso? Why now? I believe Chelsea ownership has learned hard lessons over the past years. We've had Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, Pochettino, Enzo Maresca, Liam Rossini, all in just 4 years. That's 6 managers. Rossini was considered as a mistake internally, and they've learned the squad needs experience, a proven coach, and that's why they have gone for Xabi Alonso. And even at 42, mind you, he's a brilliant coach. He led Bayer Leverkusen from bottom to an undefeated Bundesliga title in 2024. That's not luck. That's world-class management. Chelsea were also worried about Liverpool coming and taking Xabi Alonso before we pounced in and signed him. That shows a lot about Blueco, that they made sure they get the best of managers for Chelsea to support their project. But I hope Blueco actually gives a full control to Xabi Alonso, even though we've seen in latest transfer scenarios where we're not getting the players what Xabi Alonso needs. So I hope the discussion right now is to get a team which can be created in Xabi Alonso's image. Also, like, there's a big change. We do not have any head coach, but a manager right now. That means Xabi Alonso is going to get a full control of Chelsea Football Club, what he needs, how he is going to do, and that's what I'm looking forward to. What really went wrong for Xabi at Real Madrid? Now, let's be honest, Real Madrid stint wasn't a great one for Xabi Alonso. He lasted about 233 days there. So what happened? Clashes with big star. This was the main reason Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, Federico Valladolid didn't buy into his methods. Vinicius was particularly unhappy. Alonso even toyed with playing him on the right wing, and left him out for most of the games. The breaking point was the El Clasico. He substituted Vinicius Jr. The players shouted, "I shall leave the club." And that relationship never got better. He had a few losses. His first big test was the Club World Cup semi-finals against PSG. They lost 4-0. Then came the 5-2 thrashing at Atletico Madrid. His confidence was deteriorated there. Doubts from Real Madrid hierarchy. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez had doubts from day one about Alonso's lack of experience. And when crisis hit, the plug was pulled on Xabi Alonso. But one thing positive about his stint at Real Madrid, there was nothing wrong there. The win percentage was about 71.4%, the highest of any Madrid manager in the past decades. He beat Barcelona 2-1 in the El Clasico, ending their dominance. Alonso has learned something there, that managing superstars is different from managing Leverkusen. I mean the stars at Real Madrid. And I think that is something what he is going to bring at Chelsea. Not that Chelsea has a lot of superstars in them, but there are a few stars who are manageable. And that's one good thing for Xabi Alonso. He's going to bring in his experience, he's going to bring his mentality and infuse that into these young talents. One thing about young talents, they are moldable. When you hit your prime, like Vinicius Jr., who is at Real Madrid, Mbappe, who is there, you can't really infuse certain mentality into them because they already feel they are stars. There was also a scene where Mbappe actually calls all its players and tells them to go down the tunnel during the trophy presentation. That wasn't something good a coach would like to see, a player taking control of the dressing room and telling all the players to leave the ground and not respecting the opposition. Xabi Alonso comes with a lot of principles here. He's someone who respects everyone. And we've seen that in his playing career. He sees that with his oppositions. There are a lot of Spanish managers now in the Premier League. It's going to be fire this year. What kind of tactical style does Xabi Alonso have? And let's talk about how Chelsea will play under Xabi Alonso. His philosophy is pretty clear. He wants the side to dominate the ball and play with many short passes, more of the tiki-taka style of what we already see in Spain. But most of the passes are in opponent's half, not your half. His teams cluster around the ball, making it easy to progress, making the press much more aggressive. And also if they lose possession, that's a style which actually guarantees success for you. His formation is pretty fluid, whether it starts with back four or five, it changes mid-game. At Leverkusen, the wingbacks like Frimpong, Guillermo, he used 3-4-2-1 very effectively at Leverkusen. Key principles of his style of play is short passes in tight spaces, aggressive high press, 5 players on the last line of attack, creative freedom for star players. At Leverkusen, it was Florian Wirtz. So we've seen he could develop great players. And when it comes to Chelsea, this means the likes of Cole Palmer could get a free role similar to Wirtz, with players like Malo Gusto could also benefit him. Quenda coming in, it could benefit him on the wing. Alonso has a lot of tools to actually implement it into the Chelsea fold, and we're looking forward to it. The biggest challenging situation for Xabi Alonso would be to address the elephant in the room, and that's Enzo Fernandez situation. We really need Enzo Fernandez to be with Chelsea. This is a time of transition for Chelsea Football Club. As we're having a great coach, we need great players, and I consider Enzo Fernandez is like the anchor for Chelsea Football Club now. Yes, we have Cole Palmer, we have Moi Caicedo, we have upcoming stars in Estevo, Kenda, there will be Barco. There could be many players, but Enzo Fernandez situation is something we need to, which we or the Blue Co and Xabi Alonso need to address on priority so that the preseason starts well and the players can buy into the mentality. If we don't sort it, there's going to be a lot of chaos in the dressing room, and this could affect us during the back end of a season. I mean, one thing, if you've seen in the yesterday's interview, the biggest thing what stood out for me was Xabi Alonso wasn't just talking about trophies. He was talking more on the culture front, building a mentality, building an atmosphere which can not just only win temporarily but go on to win for multiple seasons. He's not promising miracles, but he promises standards for us. If he can change the culture right now, the trophies will definitely follow. There are a few quotes he mentioned. It fills me with immense pride to become manager of this great club. What it means. Alonso immediately acknowledges Chelsea's history and status. He knows that there is a lot of pressure here taking the Chelsea job. It's not going to be easy. He's not considering Chelsea as a stepping stone for his career because he's already been at good clubs. He's coached Real Madrid. He was a manager there. Calling great clubs shows a lot of respect for Chelsea. That's what I admire from him. What stood out for me was after managing clubs like Real Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, he still acknowledges that Chelsea is a great club. I feel great inside my heart that somebody of Xabi Alonso's caliber is calling Chelsea great club. We as fans love when someone calls Chelsea a very great club. And I believe Blue Co, if you're listening to this, we are a great club. Please make the club great again. We want to be winning trophies. There is another very nice statement by Xabi Alonso. We want to build a team capable of competing consistently at the highest level and fighting for trophies. He is not just thinking about one season wonder. He is thinking beyond a season with this statement. His aim is basically a sustained success rather than short-term fixes. Winning trophies is the expectation, not just qualifying for Europe. Chelsea haven't lacked talent here. We have lacked consistency. I mean, we have stars, right? We haven't had the consistency day in, day out, every time we play. There are few games where we've not gone on a winning run. And Chelsea needs to develop the consistency of winning day in, day out. And with no European competition this year, I believe winning should be a priority. Xabi Alonso is going to look for consistency during this season with no European competition. He also says there is a great talent in the squad and huge potential at this football club, and it will be my great honor to lead it. Yes, it shows that Alonso is not just going to come in and spend another 300, 400 million in building the squad. He already believes that there is a lot of potential in the current squad. He's not saying Chelsea needs a complete rebuild right now. His focus wasn't there about rebuilding everything. That could happen over the years. He already sees a lot of players capable of winning the title, and that's the Premier League for now. That's his milestone. I think Xabi Alonso has made up his mind that he wants to be winning the Premier League. And this is something which is good for Xabi Alonso coming in, the first year winning the Premier League. This could be a huge boost for his career, and also to undo the fact what Real Madrid felt that he wasn't the best manager for them. He's going to prove a point here, and I as a fan hope that Chelsea leaves the Premier League this time. It's been a huge wait for us actually to lift the cup. The only consistent team what I have seen for this current 3 seasons was Arsenal. They finally did it the last season. Do I think they are going to win the same way? I have my doubts there because I said Arsenal would feel accomplished. Their focus would mostly be on the Champions League for this time rather than winning the Premier League. Man City could be in the title race this year. Chelsea would definitely be. The other teams which have actually qualified for European competition, that's Sunderland, there's all other teams there. their performances could go down. Now they have to play continuously in the European Cups. It gives a lot of hand for other clubs actually to come and dominate them. So yes, Blue Nation, yesterday marked the beginning of something new for Chelsea. It's a new chapter, even though we had done the announcement a long time ago for Xabi Alonso. In all of my videos, I've discussed where is Xabi Alonso, and finally he was there. He possesses the aura when he enters. Very humble guy. He's clear in his ideas, his simplicity, and that's what I love about Xabi Alonso. We've been through so many managers over the last few years, but hopefully Xabi Alonso is the man who finally brings stability back to Stamford Bridge. Before I finish, let me know your thoughts in the comments whether Xabi Alonso is the right person for Chelsea, who could go on to win the Premier League for us in his first season. Let me also know who the Blue coach should recruit to support Xabi Alonso in winning the title this year. I'd be much happy. Thank you so much again. This is Blue Nation TV. Mo gaso.